My name is Ismail Marul, and I teach competition math mostly, and that's basically what I focus on for the last 4 years. So I completed my master's and bachelor degrees in my home country, Republic of Turkey, and as soon as I'm done with my bachelor degree in teaching math, I actually started my master's degree in teaching math in United States in Rhode Island, in Providence College. So I completed my master's degree from Providence College and with the teaching math degree. Okay, so that was the learning process. But as soon as I am done with my education stuff, I just actually started teaching in one of the international schools in Asia. So I taught a Cambridge curriculum for 2 years, and as soon as like 2 years was over, I came back to US again to teach in the United States as well. But in my first 2 years in Cambridge School, International Cambridge School, I focused on mostly regular math, but I also had some competition math experience there as well. So in the United States, where I started teaching first was like Massachusetts, but I teach regular math for middle and high school students, but I just didn't do competition math because the school were not ready for that yet. Okay, but for the last 4 years, I actually just focused on the competition math, which I actually work for a public school in another state. Okay, so that is what I actually do mostly for my last 4 years. So as I said, I started focusing on competition math for my last 4 years because I realized math is all good. I love math since my seventh grade as a student because my teacher were really into math, and he actually was helping to us in any way he could help, which is why I kind of decided at that moment to be a teacher. But for my first 3-4 years of teaching, I was mostly focused on regular math. But after a while, you just do the same thing, same type of questions, regardless of what you teach. But when I realized competition math is a bit different from the regular math because you actually have less tools in your toolbox, but to handle a really challenging question with the same number of tools. So which requires a lot of thinking, which requires a lot of approaches, which requires a lot of problem solving techniques. So I really enjoy doing it because you don't really focus on just one formula or one tool and where you know what to do as soon as you do question. But the competition math is just problem solving mostly, which I really enjoy doing it because you never know if you are going to be able to solve that problem with the tool that you have in your first try, which is a good experience even for experienced teachers as well. So I had a lot of great moments with my students, when I've been doing the competition math, because competition math doesn't just include the classroom teaching. So you do have after-school clubs, and you do take the students into other cities or states to participate in some competition. One of them was in Berkeley Mini Math Tournament, where I took my students. Maybe it was one of the first out-of-state trips that I had with my students. And in one of the runs that was called puzzle run. So in the puzzle run, so my students were done with the problems, and then the time was over, and then they came to me. One of them was really excited about what they did and how they did, and he was confident about what they did on this puzzle run, even though the result wasn't published. They didn't know what they did, how they did, but he was really confident with their work, and he was really willing to tell me what they just went through, which is the moment that I really enjoy listening, because that was the moment that you feel really see a kind of result of what you've been doing for maybe last year. So that was a great moment as one of my first experience actually that I enjoyed, and I still keep remembering those moments. Whenever I have a student to kind of teach mostly competition math, I really try my hard to help them as much as possible. So I just give them enough feedback. I just try my best to just get their question done, or like reply to their questions. And even like in some like cases, I text them every day and saying that do this and do that, and maybe you missed this one, let's move on to this, and because that's you're missing, you want to get better at this area and stuff like that. So whenever I have a student like who is willing to get more feedback, more help from me, I will really try my best to help them any day, any time of the week or any day and stuff like that. So I really try my best to help them any way that I can do, regardless of the day or the time and or the way that I communicate with each other. That doesn't have to be just through emails. So I usually kind of have that much, I guess, help if needed. So that is, I would say, I will just bring to the table that most people cannot. What do we offer them? So like I personally, as an instructor, work with a lot of institutions. So BEEC is one of those ones that I really enjoy working with, because at BEEC, the admin team focus on the students' progress and students' achievements. And every week we do have brief meetings with this with the admin to talk about what happened for that week about that students, and do we need to do anything else to get better at what we are trying to achieve. So which most institutions don't have this, but the BEEC has this with instructors and as well as the students. So which is why this is really nicer for the students to see how they are doing, especially for parents. They know what's going on and every week, and that is actually great for a student to have that much support. So that is why I feel like this is really important aspect of the BEEC that most institutions don't have. So as I mentioned, I focus on mostly competition, and then the nature of the competition, you just have like a lot of great students from the state, from the nation that compete against each other. But my philosophy is a bit different. So since at the end of the day, only a few of those students will get some sort of recognition or ranking, so all others will not get anything like that. So which is why I don't want people to just focus on the result. So if let's take an example of AMC 10, if you are focused on AMC 10, if you're like trying to get a AME qualification with AMC 10, and you work like maybe 6 months, maybe a year or so, let's say at the end of the day, you couldn't make it. So, but while you are getting ready for the AMC 10, you actually review a lot of subjects that you learn in your school life, which will help you in the future studies as well. And that will help you in your longer studies for sure. But if you couldn't make it for that year, that's okay, as long as you take that opportunity as a learning opportunity. So what I mean by that, take let's say 10 questions out of the AMC 10 that you missed, and learn maybe half of those questions that you couldn't figure out on the test. So if you can really learn at least half of the question that you couldn't figure out during the test, then actually you are getting better at the same time, regardless of what your result was look like, right? So if you take this every single test as a competition, as opportunity to learn new questions, new types of problems, or to see what area you are struggling with to get better at, so you can focus on those areas. If you can just focus on those, then you are gonna be get better at everything that you are gonna be trying, even though sometimes the result will not be really something what you like to see. So that is my biggest advice for students as well as their parents, because if you are just focus oriented, then if you don't get something you expect, then you're frustrated. But that's not what we need to feel, because if you are preparing something, you are actually learning something, practicing something. So which is why you are getting better at what you are doing already, even though the result may not be that great, because only a few students will be getting those places. So everyone is just doing work, so you don't really expect to get that top in like ranking immediately or every time that you try your best. So that is my piece of advice for students as well as their parents. I would say, like, I'm originally from Turkey, and I lived there maybe like 20 plus years. And I went to a few different countries to teach, to get more studies. And my wife also went to the different countries that I've never been into. So we were just people who've seen a lot of different cultures, background, and stuff like that. In the United States, I've been in like 3 different states that I live, but at the same time, I've been in a lot of other states just to explore. So I have a background where I really respect everyone's like background in terms of the like religion or in terms of their culture or in terms of their like thinking, whatever. So this is basically what I feel like. So, and I kind of have great respect to everything what people respect for. So maybe that is something I'd like to add to this.